It's a beautiful day and there's a city to explore. And with so much to do in LA, there's not a moment to waste. So I'm taking my single girl adventure to the heart of it all, downtown's El Pueblo Monument, the home of the world famous Olvera Street. And you better believe I'm taking you with me. So LA is notorious for its, let's say, challenging parking situation. And I have no desire to fight traffic. And then once I get to LA, search for that elusive parking space and then have to pay for parking on top of that. So I have a ticket directly to our destination and we're riding the metro, baby. Not only is the train a cost-efficient way to avoid the hassle of downtown parking, but it's a great break from the freeway stress. Jump online before you go to take all the guesswork out of taking the train. And on your way to Olvera Street, be sure to take a couple minutes to wander through Union Station. Notice the Art Deco details of glamorous days gone by. And stop by the information booth to learn more about this station's interesting history. This is the El Pueblo Monument and Olvera Street. This remarkable area is steeped in a diverse and interesting history, and knowing a bit about that story reveals that this is more than just a place for great tacos. This plaza has been an important social, political, and religious center, first under Spanish rule, and then under Mexican, and then finally under US rule. But as time passed, it started to get a bit run down and it was facing demolition, but that's when Christine Sterling stepped in. Now, she was a woman who was clearly ahead of her time, and her passion and dedication to preserving this area has saved it for future generations to see. You see, it all started with a house. We're standing in front of the oldest home in Los Angeles. This is the Avila adobe. It was originally built in 1818, so it was run down and it was about ready to be demolished when Christine Sterling laid eyes on it in 1926. Now, she saw something that nobody else did and she took action. You see, she wanted to preserve this piece of history for the rest of us to see. Today, it is refurbished to what it would have looked like in the 1840s. So let's go inside. Hi, we're here with Julie, who is a museum guide, and we're here at the Avila adobe. So, Julie, tell us a little bit about the Avila adobe.
It is an 1818 home, and it was actually a townhome. It belonged to Francisco Avila, who was a wealthy mayor and rancher in the 1800s.
Francisco was the mayor here in the 1800s. Interesting.
He owned all of Rancho La Cienega, which was west from here, and that was his primary home.
So what would you like visitors to know or to take away with him after they visited the Avila adobe?
Okay, one unique feature is that it's almost 200 years old. The house has been renovated, of course, but it was at one point made all out of adobe bricks. There's a lot of things that people can see in the house that take them back into time. And they can get transcended into a time period where life was a lot more simpler.
It really does seem like you're stepping back in time when you visit this place.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
Definitely.
So the admission here is free. So you should just come on down. This is really, really worth a visit. Julie, thank you so much for your time. When you first approach Olvera Street, you are immediately struck by the undeniable energy of this place. There's colorful vendor stands and the sound of conversation and music fill the air, and the smell of Mexican food is just enticing. After Christine Sterling saved the Avila adobe, she knew that she needed another reason for people to come down to this area because it was a little bit run down, and so this was kind of like a very early urban revitalization. So she reached out to all of her friends, and their friends had friends who were tradesmen and craftsmen, and together they all came together and they donated products, they donated labor to rebuild this area into the Olvera Street Market. She wanted it to be as close to an authentic marketplace as she could. Okay, we are here with Valerie. Now, Valerie is an interesting story. See, most of the merchants here on Olvera Street hand their storefronts to generation after generation. So you have many fourth and fifth generation merchants here on Olvera Street. So there's really a lot of history even with the merchants. So we're here with Valerie. Now, Valerie, you are a fourth generation, fifth generation? Third. You're third generation.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your family history here at Olvera Street.
Well, my dad started here in 1930 when it opened. He was a shoe shine boy, and Miss Sterling had 10 shoe shine boys here. And just shortly after that, she had my father in because he'd scraped his knee, and started talking to him a little bit more and found out that his mother was a single mother with 4 children and no business or no real source of income. And so she said, bring her down, and that's how my grandmother started. Got a sarape, got some merchandise from each of the merchants that were existing, and said, you start here. And that's how she started here too.
Wow.
Yeah. And so after that, my aunt came in as well.
This is really a family business for you then. Yes, and it goes and it keeps going on. So it maintains the history of Olvera Street, but also the history of your family.
Yes.
Wow, that's fascinating. Well, a girl's got to eat, right? Well, Cielito Lindo is one of the oldest food vendors here in Olvera Street. It's been here since 1934. Hi. Could I get the 2 taquitos with avocado sauce?
Sure. Would you like something to drink?
Could I get a glass of water?
A glass of water? $3 this.
Rumor has it that Cielito Lindo has the best taquitos in town. And they have this amazing avocado sauce over it, but there's only one way to find out. The reviews are true. Crunchy, warm, and the avocado sauce is amazing. These are a must-eat at Olvera Street. We're here at another must-see attraction at Olvera Street. This is the La America Tropical, and it's another thing that Christine Sterling was directly involved in creating. She wanted to have a mural to accentuate the area. This was the age of the great muralists of Rivero and Orozco, so she contacted the third of the 3 great mural masters, David Alfaro Siqueiros, to paint a lovely Mexican garden mural. Of course, Siqueiros happily agreed, but not without some controversy and a little bit of secrets. So today we have John Kopczynski here with us. So John, tell us a little bit about that secret that Mr. Siqueiros was holding back on.
Well, this is a great story. As you said, Christine Sterling had this mural commissioned for what was, you can see behind me in this image, a beer garden at the top of this building back in 1932. David Siqueiros, for those who don't know, his politics was very leftist. He was a communist at the time, and he always was his whole life. That being said, you know when you get Siqueiros to do anything, there's going to be some kind of political statement. The opening night, in the center of the mural, was a crucified Mexican indigenous person, which with a bald eagle perched on his head, which was Siqueiros kind of giving the message of, you want America Tropical? Well, here's colonialism and what it's done to the indigenous, and it became an overnight heated, controversial, not so tranquil mural. And there were those who thought it was absolutely a phenomenal piece of artwork. Others were horribly offended by it. All said and done, it was whitewashed. And the irony of all this, at the end of the day, is that the Censorship Act, which was the whitewashing of the art, ultimately helped preserve the message.
The Interpretive Center is an excellent way to truly understand the message behind the art. The mural was painted during a time of intense social and political currents, and the Interpretive Center puts the mural into perspective within the supercharged climate of the time. After taking in the various interactive displays, a guide will take you to the roof to see La America Tropical for yourself. The colors may be faded, but powerful art refuses to be subdued.
So now we're here at the actual mural itself. Now a lot of people, when they come up to view this mural, they see that it's faded. They expect to see this vibrant mural, which it was when it was originally painted. And now what we have are the remnants of what was there originally. Now this is a conservation and preservation effort. This is not a restoration. If it was restored so that it was still brightly colored, it could no longer be called an original Siqueiros mural, because it's the sun that really does the most damage to murals. So that umbrella thing shields it from the sunlight to preserve it for years and years and years. Now we're standing in the courtyard of the Pico House. The Pico House was originally a luxury hotel. In fact, it was the first luxury hotel in Los Angeles. It was also the first building to have 3 stories, and the first building to have running water and restrooms on each floor for both men and women. Now this courtyard is not normally open to the public, but I hear that they do rent it out for special events, and they sometimes have public performances and things like that in here. So check the website of the El Pueblo Monument, and also check their Facebook page to find out how to rent this space or to see what kind of special events are coming up that you might be able to attend. Now we're at the first floor of the Pico House. This first floor is used for a lot of different purposes, from events to cultural programs to art exhibits. They have art exhibits that rotate in every couple of weeks. Right now they're showing this exhibit called From Her, and it's all art that's created by women. This art exhibit won't be here for long, but they do have other ones that come in frequently, so be sure to check the El Pueblo Facebook page or the El Pueblo Monument website to see what art exhibit, what culture event, what theatrical program is happening. Everything that takes place in here is free. It's an amazing place to come down and experience culture, experience events. There's no reason not to come. One of the biggest mistakes that we could make today is to leave Olvera Street without saying hello to Mr. Churro. So you can read all the rave reviews online, but nothing compares to having a fresh, warm churro from Mr. Churro. Crispy on the outside, warm and gooey on the inside, covered in cinnamon and sugar. This is perfect. Oh, and if you want to gilbololi, you can also get these filled with fruit or cheesecake cream filling. Today, close to 2 million people visit the El Pueblo Monument, home of the world-famous Olvera Street. Now, our day has been very, very full, but there are still a lot of things we didn't get to see. So we are definitely coming back because we want to see the Chinese American Museum, the oldest firehouse in Los Angeles, and then opening in fall of 2015, approximately, is the Italian American Museum. Now, I know it can be a little bit scary coming down to downtown LA, especially if you're a single girl, and especially if you're not used to coming to downtown LA, but Olvera Street has something going for it that hopefully will ease those fears. First of all, it has security 24/7, and the security guards make themselves very visible. Now, getting here is very easy. There's the train, which picks you up from virtually anywhere in Southern California and drops you off right at Union Station, which is literally across the street. Also, if you don't mind fighting the LA traffic, there are parking lots surrounding this area. Now, they do charge for parking, and the parking lots can fill up quickly, especially on weekends and holidays. So if you are on a budget, or if you're coming during one of those busy days, we do recommend taking the train. But if Southern California isn't convenient for you, explore your own backyard. See what kind of locations are near you that you haven't visited before. Learn about the history. Take some time to notice the details. Learn about the people who invested their lives to make that area for future generations to enjoy. It's a great big world out there, so go out and explore.